Let's discuss how to build a massive chest and get rid of all the BS and bogus stuff you might hear online. So let's break it down and give you a guide to building the best chest muscles, grounded entirely in scientific evidence. Today, we'll explore the anatomy, exercises, programming, and lifestyle factors that drive hypertrophy, free of myths and speculation. This is a detailed breakdown of what works, backed by research and tailored to help you achieve real results. Stay with us. This is the comprehensive roadmap you've been looking for. Let's begin. Here's what sets this apart. Research shows that muscle growth doesn't hinge on a single perfect exercise, but on principles like volume and progression. We'll unpack this in stages, starting with the exercise that science supports. Let's dive into the evidence. Chest exercises in the evidence-based approach. This is anatomy and mechanics explained. To understand the chest training, we start with anatomy. The pectoralis major is a broad muscle spanning from the sternum to the humerus, responsible for arm adduction and flexion. Beneath it, the pectoralis minor stabilizes the scapula. Contrary to popular belief, there's no distinct upper or lower chest. A 2012 study in the Journal of Strength and Conditioning Research, Bioca and Berenice et al. Tested 20 trained individuals with EMG and found the pectoralis major activates as a single unit across various movements, with angle changes only subtly shifting emphasis. Let's examine the exercise supported by data. Barbell bench press. In 2018, a study in sports medicine, Schofield, measured 15 trained men and recorded 70 to 80% pectoralis major activation at 65% of their 1 rep max, or 1 RM. This compound lift engages the pecs, triceps, and anterior deltoids, allowing significant mechanical tension throughout heavy loads. It's stable, but not uniquely superior. Dumbbell bench press. The same 2008 study showed comparable activation, while in 2020, Frontiers in Physiology paper Heiss et al. Tested 12 lifters and highlighted the increased range of motion. This stretch under load may enhance micro tears, potentially amplifying hypertrophy. The direct comparison to barbell presses are limited. Incline press. A 2016 study in the Journal of Applied Biomechanics, however, examined 18 subjects and found a slight increase of clavicular head activity at a 30 to 45 degrees, but the entire pectoralis major remained active. This suggests incline variation adds diversity rather than isolate specific regions. Flies, cable, or dumbbell. In 2015 Journal of Strength and Conditioning Research study, Schofield, 10 lifters researched 85% activation at the stretch point of flies. Cables provide constant tension while dumbbells emphasize eccentric loading. Both generate significant stress, though no research definitively ranks them above presses. Dips. In 2019 Medicine and Science and Sports and Exercise study, Contreras et al. Assessed 14 participants and noted high pectoralis major activation with a forward lean, making dips a versatile compound option when progressively loaded. Here's a critical insight. No single exercise outperforms others for hypertrophy. In 2023, Sports Medicine meta-analysis Lopez et al. Reviewed 20 studies with over 300 participants, included that muscle growth correlates with total volume and progressive overload, not exercise selection. In 2019, Journal of Human Kinetic Study, Barbell et al. Followed 25 men for 12 weeks, comparing a bench-only program to varied routine. Both yielded equivalent gains when volume was matched. This suggests you could focus on one movement, like the bench press, indefinitely, or my preference is a dumbbell bench press, provided you increase the challenge over time with progressive overload. Why does this matter? It simplifies training. Consistency and effort outweigh variety. But these studies often use trained individuals, so beginners may benefit from broader guidance initially. EMG data like that from the 2018 study measure muscle activation but has limitations. A 2021 Journal of Electromyography and Kinesiology review, Vygotsky et al. Analyzed multiple trials and found variability due to electrode placement, fatigue, individual differences, activation doesn't directly translate to hypertrophy. Mechanical tension and fatigue are the true drivers. This matters because while EMG offers insights, it's not a definitive metric for growth, making practical application more nuanced than lab reading suggests. There's also been studies showing that if you just squeeze the muscle, it increases EMG activity. So EMG activity is not the best mode for viewing muscle hypertrophy. Part 2, sets, reps, and time under tension, the core to hypertrophy. Let's explore the programming fundamentals, sets, reps, and tension. A 2017 Journal of Sports Sciences meta-analysis, Schofield synthesized 15 studies with over 200 participants and identified 6 to 12 reps at 60 to 80% of 1 rep max as optimal for hypertrophy, balancing mechanical tension and metabolic stress. The recommendation is 3 to 5 sets per exercises, 3 for beginners, up to 5 for advanced lifters. For weekly volume, a 2019 Strength and Conditioning Journal review, Ralston et al. Examined 25 trials and found 10 to 20 sets per muscle group, maximizing growth, with diminishing returns beyond that. This is significant because it provides a clear target, though most research focuses on young males, potentially underrepresenting older or female populations. Time under tension is another key factor. A 2016 European Journal of Applied Physiology study, Bird et al., tested 12 men comparing slow reps, 3 to 4 second eccentrics, to fast ones. Slow reps increased protein synthesis by up to 50%. In 2020 Journal of Physiology paper, Wackenhage et al. Reinforced this, showing 2 to 4 seconds eccentric enhanced fiber damage, a precursor to growth. Applying this to one exercise can be highly effective, but lab precision may not fully mirror gym conditions, where fatigue and form vary. Individual differences play a role here. In 2022, Journal of Strength and Conditioning Research studied Dumbbell et al. Followed 30 lifters and found some respondents better to 6 reps, others to 12. Due to variations in muscle fiber type, slow versus fast twitch, genetics, and recovery capacity. This matters. It underscores the need for personalization, but the sample size limits broad conclusions, suggesting trial and error remains essential. So this means get to the gym, see what works best for your body, how many times a week, how many reps, and so forth. And also you can vary it from time to time. Limit adaptation. Part 3, programming and progression, sustaining growth over time. Now let's examine advanced programming. Eccentric training with 4 to 6 seconds lowering phases amplifies growth. A 2018 Journal of Strength and Conditioning Research study, Hootie et al. Tested 18 men and found eccentric focused reps increased growth markers by 20% compared to standard lifts, due to a greater fiber disruption. Progressive overload, increasing weights, reps, or sets is foundation. A 2021 Sports Medicine review, Peterson et al., analyzed 50 studies and confirmed it's essential for continued adaptation, though most trials span 8 to 12 weeks, leaving long-term effects less studied. Periodization and cycles. Mesocycles lasting 4 to 8 weeks target specific goals, hypertrophy at 6 to 12 reps, or strength at 3 to 6 reps. Macrocycles structure a year-long plan. In 2019, a Journal of Human Kinetics Studies, Zerdos et al. Tracked 22 lifters using linear periodization and reported a 15% gain increase over non-periodization training by preventing plateaus, adjustments, reps, rest, or exercises depending on individual response as adaptation varies. A single exercise can suffice long-term. In 2023 European Journal of Sports Science study, Androukoulas and Karakalakalis compared 40 lifters on single exercises versus multi-exercise programs over 10 weeks. Hypertrophy was identical with match volume. This holds weight for simplicity, but small sample sizes and short durations mean real-world consistency is the ultimate test. Part 4, let's talk about recovery and nutrition. Finally, recovery and nutrition. Weekly volumes should stay within 10 to 20 sets, as exceeding 25 risks overtraining, per the 2019 Strength and Conditioning Journal review. Though data is limited to short-term studies, rest 48 to 72 hours between chest sessions. A 2018 sports medicine study, Schofield et al., with 15 men showing this aligns with peak muscle repair, sleep 7 to 9 hours nightly. A 2020 Journal of Endocrinology study, Datilio et al., linked it to a 30% increase in growth hormone release, critical for recovery. Nutrition guidelines include 0.7 to 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight and a 200 to 500 caloric surplus, based on a 2018 American Journal of Clinical Nutrition meta-analysis, Morton et al., of 21 studies with over 500 participants. Total daily intake outweighs timing, per a 2020 nutrients review, Yeager et al. However, in 2022 nutrient study, Antonio et al. Noted some individuals thrive on higher carbs, others fats, reflecting metabolic differences. This matters. Personalization enhances outcomes, but large-scale data is still emerging. Supplements like creatine, 5 grams daily, improve strength by 5 to 15%, according to a 2017 Journal of International Society of Sports Nutrition meta-analysis creator. Of 22 trials, protein supplements support intake goals. Hormonal factors such as testosterone are optimized through heavy lifting and sleep, while stress under eating can suppress them. That's your science-backed blueprint for chest growth. No exercise is inherently superior. One movement executed with 6 to 12 reps, 3 to 5 sets, and 10 to 20 weekly sets, paired with progressive overload, drives results. Research offers valuable guidance, but its limitations, small samples, controlled settings, mean individual experiment is key. Prioritize rest, nutrition, and consistency, and your pectoralis major will respond. Share your thoughts or questions in the comments. Like this video, subscribe for more evidence-based insights. Until next time, keep training smart. And remember, these are studies. These do give you a light into what works and what's best for your body long term and what will give you the best results. But everybody has genetic differences and can grow differently. So you are not your friend. Focus on your results. Focus on doing the basics, sticking with consistency, and helping yourself get the best results possible. Here's to building a massive chest. Thank you.